welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing this lilac-y makeup look tutorial for you. So basically I did this look for the first time on I think it was Monday or Tuesday this week. Today's Sunday. And I really liked it, and I literally did it every day since. I've literally been wearing this makeup look for the whole week. I've been changing up the eyeliner and a couple of little things, but generally this is a look that I've been wearing and I've just really enjoyed it. It's been so easy and I didn't have to think. I just did it and it just worked and it looked flawless every single day. The base that I've done is one of those bases that is really good for longevity, so it's really good for keeping your makeup in place all day. It looks flawless all day. It doesn't need touched up. It's just, this makeup look is one of those makeup looks you can do and you don't need to worry about it until you go home and take it off before you go to bed. So if you want to see how I achieved this very long wearing lilac-y makeup look, then please keep on watching. Okay, ignore these red patches. I've just waxed my eyebrows and my skin is totally playing up at the moment. My skin's really sensitive. I itch and I get a red mark. I don't know what's going on, but everything's sensitive. So ignore the red marks. My skin's been sensitive. Okay, first of all, I'm going to prime as usual with my Mercier Hydrating Primer. I really want to go and pick up the Kat Von D Hydrating Primer. It feels really similar to this primer and I want to know if it's really similar. I really want to go and pick it up and try it. Next time I'm in Sephora, I think I'm going to give it a try. See how sensitive my skin is? Look how red it is. I don't know what's going on with it. Alright, and then I'm going to use my Makeup Forever Smoothing Primer through my textured areas. I got this rash a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. I got this stress rash and it's ever since then, it's whatever I put on my body makes me itchy and I'm really red really quickly. I don't know what I've done to myself. I'm hoping it settles down. And now whenever I put fake tan on, it's it makes my skin really itchy. It's I'm allergic to everything all of a sudden. It's really annoying me. Okay, and then for foundation, my favoritist foundation combination for longevity is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Max Cover in the shade 1N3 Creamy Vanilla and my Luminous Silk Giorgio Armani foundation number 5. So this is my now colour. This is my pale colour, is these two. If I'm tanned, I'll replace that with the 6.5, which is much more kind of darker, but I'll still use the same maximum cover. So I always use that and I just change up my Luminous Silk shade, but it's my favourite foundation combination for longevity. It's impenetrable. So I do about half a pea of the Double Wear, and then I do about 2 pumps of the Luminous Silk. And then I just mix them together until I get something like that. And then that is my foundation. So I'm trying out a new sponge today. This is the Shuamura Light Bulb Sponge, but I don't know how I feel about it. Let me just show you that. This is the damp one. I bought 2 and I wet this one and this is the dry one. And it hasn't changed size and it doesn't even really feel damp. It's freaking me out. Anyway, I'm going to try it and see what happens. Hopefully it works. It's really hard. This is this solid sponge. It's got absolutely no bounce to it. It's so weird. The Beauty Blender is so bouncy and this is so hard. Okay, it's kind of used up all of my product and I've not really done much of my face, so it seems to use up a lot of makeup. I don't know about that sponge. I bought 2 of them as well. I hate when I do weird stuff like that. Buy 2 of something I've never tried before. Okay, how I think I like this sponge is it's really hard, so it's really good for working the product into the skin. I think because I've got them, I think what I'm going to use them for is I'll either use my normal Beauty Blender or my Chi Chi sponge to apply, and then this is really good for kind of airbrushing the surface. Because it really puts the foundation into the skin, it really makes it look more like skin rather than sitting on the surface. I really like how it's looked, but I've used almost double the amount of foundation I would normally use. That looks really flawless. It's kind of really pushed it into my skin. So it's good for that, but look how much product it's soaked up. Like, that's insane. So I'm not going to be using it for application. It's going to cost way too much money. Okay, next step as per usual is my Giorgio Armani Master Corrector number 2, just on the inner corners. I don't know if people really think that these do anything, but I find I have to put like way less concealer on with it. It kind of does a lot of the work. To me, I think it makes a big difference. I really like it. And then I'm going to highlight the centre of my face using my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in 15 Fair. So I'm just going to dot that through the centre of the face. And then for right on the under eyes, I'll use my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind right where I need it. And then I can't decide whether I should attempt to blend with this. I think I will because I am testing it. And then I'm also going to be using my little mini beauty blender, which I totally love. I'm going to be using that just to blend my under eyes. So I'm just going to use this first. Okay, for concealer, I actually really like it. I think it kind of buffs it into the skin, apart from it's not really got like a good angle for the under eyes. So I'm just kind of buffing what I can. And then I'm going to go in with that just to kind of blend on my under eyes. Like, I really like what it's done with the rest of the areas. Like, because it's so hard, it kind of pushes the product into the skin, which again makes it look really kind of flawless. Okay, so I'm going to go on to that one for my under eyes. It's such a different experience using this little beauty blender. It's so soft and squishy, my god. Alright, and now before anything creases, I'm quickly just going to set it with my Lauder Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. So I'm really into baking at the moment. I don't like to bake all the time, like every single day. I think it's overkill, but for longevity and to give you like an airbrushed, flawless finish to the skin, I think it's really, really effective. So if I need my makeup to stay on and to stay flawless and not crease and look perfect, I've been doing this really, really regularly. And my favourite brush to apply the bake is my Napoleon Perdis 16R Sculpting Contour Brush. So it's got like a really flat tip to it and it's quite dense but quite fluffy, so it just applies the bake really densely and really kind of precisely. I'm really been enjoying this recently. So just anywhere that I pop the concealer, now while that's baking, I'm just going to go and do my eyebrows, so I will be back in 2 seconds. Okay, brows done. If you want to see how I do my brows, I do have a brow tutorial on my channel, so I'll link it down below for you. But that bake's probably been on for about 10 minutes now, so I'm just going to buff it off. I've got a little Smashbox contour brush that I got with my Smashbox contour kit, which is perfect for kind of buffing off bake, so I'm going to buff it off with that. So I just start where I put it on and I literally just flick over really softly. And it just buffs off all that excess powder. And then I'm just going to prime my eyelids using my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. I've said in a previous video I use the soft ochre paint pot when I've got a tan, and I use Painterly when I'm pale because Painterly's pink based and soft ochre's yellow based. So I find this looks more natural when I've got my natural pale skin. So just using the 142 buffing brush again, I'm just going to buff that in. So just under the eyebrows and then working it down onto the mobile lid. It just helps to kind of erase any discoloration in the lid, but it helps to make your makeup last longer as well. And then using my MAC Mineralise Skin Finish in Medium, I'm going to use that to set the brow bone area. I want to keep the lid a little bit tacky because I'm going to be using a cream eyeshadow, so I'm just going to use it to set the brow bone. And I'm also going to use that to set the areas of the face that I haven't set already. So I'm just using a Napoleon Perdis 16B brush just to apply that onto the brow bone. And then using my Zoeva 131 powder brush, I'm just going to use that to set the rest of the areas. Okay, base done. So now I'm going to go on to my eyes. So first thing I've been doing is using my Giorgio Armani Eye and Brow Maestro, and I've been using it in the shade Auburn, which is like it's kind of like a lilac-y charcoal. It looks very charcoal-y in the pot, but when it goes onto the skin, it almost has like a little bit of a purple reflect. So I've just been using my Zoeva 234 Smoky Shader brush to apply that. So just putting kind of plenty onto the brush. And then I'm just patting it onto the mobile lid. These eye and brow maestros, they come in a ton of colours. And they're basically like creamed, pigmented creams. So you can use them as eyeshadows, you can use them like for contouring. They've got all kind of different brown shades, different kind of skin colour shades. You can use them for contouring, you can use them through your brows, you can use them on the lips as well. I think you can pretty much use them anywhere you want. And these are completely waterproof, so incredibly long lasting. So just taking that roughly up towards the crease. It doesn't need to be perfect because we are going to be blending out the edges. So just packing that on. And then I'm taking my Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. And then I'm going to be using the shade Limit, which is like a matte pink. And first of all, I'm just going to be running that all the way through the socket just to blend out the edges and create a bit of a transition colour. Using my Zoeva 223 Crease Brush, which is just like a big fluffy crease brush. This was like my original favourite blending brush. I used to absolutely love this for blending out. So I'm just going to use it and I'm just going to wash it all the way through the crease area. So just using a light hand, circular motions, window wiper motions, just taking it all the way through the crease and just blending it up towards the brow bone. So the next colour I'm going to go in with is Nuna, which is this one here. So this is like a dark mauvey, charcoaly purple shade. So I'm going to be using my Morphe M506 brush, which is like a really tiny kind of like petite crease like blending brush, and I'm just going to be popping that on the side of the brush and also on the tip of the brush. So taking it on the side and also on the tip, applying kind of plenty of product to the brush. So just kind of running it on the outer corner and then running it up into that crease. So outer corner of the eye and then up into that crease. And again, circular motions, window washer motions, being quite light-handed so we don't put too much pressure on the brush. And you can see that just kind of adds some depth and kind of definition to that eye look. So I'm just going to build it up slightly. So just putting a little bit more on the brush. And then same thing, just right on the outer corner and then up into the crease. And then going back in with that big fluffy brush and a little bit of that Limit colour, I'm just going to go over the edges and just blend that out, make sure it's nice and soft. So this time a super light hand, like barely touching the skin, just to really gently kind of soften any edges. Okay, next step is I'm going to take the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in Swerve, which is jet black. This is probably my most used cream gel liner. So first of all, I'm going to tight line the upper lashes, so just running it through the upper waterline. And then I'm also going to put it slightly into the lash bed, so just really gently kind of running it into the lash bed. And then once we've got that all the way through the lash bed, I'm going to take my Zoeva 226 smudger brush and I'm just going to run that along that line and just smudge it and make it nice and soft. And you see that gives you like a nice dark lash line, but without it being too crisp and too perfect. And then for the lower lash line, same thing, I'm going to run it through the lower lashes, but I'm just going to keep it on the outer third of the eye and just keeping it quite precise. I don't want to make it too smoky. So just kind of placing it like that and then again smudging it out. And then using a really small pencil brush, I'm going to take that Nuna shade and just run that along the edge of the liner just to smudge it out. And then just running it along the edge. And then taking a slightly larger pencil brush, I'm going to take that Limit shade, which is the first transition shade, and just running all the way along the lower lash line just to smoke it all out, blend it all out, and make it match the upper eyelid. So now just a bit of mascara, so I'm just going to pop on my Giorgio Armani Ecstasy mascara in black, which is coming to the end of its life. I just bought a couple of new mascaras, so looking forward to changing it up a little bit. Now I'm going to let that mascara dry and I'm going to come back and pop some lashes on, but in the meantime I'm just going to finish the rest of my face. So first of all, I'm just going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour palette and I'm going to use that center shade just to do a little bit of contouring. So I'm using my Zoeva 109 Luxe face paint brush, which is my favouriteest contour brush of all time. It is perfect. So I'm just going to put that under the cheekbones. And then using that Smashbox contour brush we used to remove the bake, I'm going to use that same shade just to contour around the edges of the forehead. Now I've got quite a large forehead, so I like to do this just to kind of make it look a little smaller. So I'm just running that into the hairline. And then for bronzer today, I'm going to use my Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer, which is about to die a death. This is like a matte bronzer, so I really like this for kind of everyday makeup looks. My Physicians Formula bronzer is a lot more kind of glossy. It's got like a real sheen to it, so it's good for like glowy, even-y looks, whereas this is really good for just like everyday understated makeup looks. So I'm just going to apply that on with my Luxe 126 Cheek Finish Brush by Zoeva. And I'm just going to run that along the edges of that contour, along the edges of the forehead, just to give me a bit of dimension. And then applying it on the top of the cheekbones, again where the sun would hit you. So just blending it down into that contour. And it just makes the skin look naturally kind of bronzed and three-dimensional. Makeup can make you look very flat very quickly, so this just kind of brings the shapes and colours back into the skin. And then I'm just going to run that along the bridge of the nose and down the sides of the nose. And then a little bit just under the jawline. And then for blush, I'm going to use my Giorgio Armani blush in 306, which is just like a really pretty rosy pink. Perfect for a kind of like a neutral makeup look. So just using my 105 Luxe highlight brush, which I actually really like as a blush brush. And I'm just popping that on the back of the apples of the cheeks. And then I always like to pop just a little bit here. And it just brings all like the colours of the face together, so it looks a little bit more au naturel. And then for highlight, I'm going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit in Sun Dipped, which I have been loving. As you can see, look how much I've used it. I love this palette. And I'm going to use this shade here, Moonstone, which is like a nice rosy gold. This palette is actually really good. When I first bought it, I was like, so excited. But it's actually 4 highlighters in one, and they're good sizes, like you're getting a lot for your money. And they're really kind of good highlighters. They're really good quality, got a lot of pigment to them, really glowy. Really like it, really happy I bought it. So just using a Zoeva 238 Luxe Precise shader brush, which is this tiny little brush. I'm just going to use that to highlight the small areas of the face with a Cupid's bow. And inner corners of the eyes. And then a little bit under the arch of the brow. And then tip of the nose, I'm going to use my 16B brush for that. So I just put a little bit right on the edge of the brush and then just dust it right on the tip. And then a little bit on the bridge. And then a little bit top of the cheekbone, so I'm just going to use the flat side of the brush. Now, I'm not one for a crazy cheek highlight. I don't really love a crazy cheek highlight, but I just kind of place it over this area. And then as you move, you get like a pretty glow, but I don't really like that mirrored effect. I think it looks really pretty on some people, but on me, I just don't like how it looks. Now I'm going to go back and do my lashes. So with looks like this, when I want to wear lashes, I like using the kind of offcuts rather than the full lash, so it looks a little bit more natural. So I just put these on the outer corner, and then I just add a little bit of individuals just to kind of taper it down. So I will show you. So I just pop them into my tweezers, and then I run a little bit of the Modelrock black lash glue along the edge. Let it kind of dry for just like 10 seconds. And then I just pop it right on the very outer corner of the eye. And that just gives like a nice lifted look, but I like to put just a couple of individuals just to taper it in. So I'm just using like the last remaining ones of my Napoleon Perdis individual lashes. I've got the tiniest ones, which are called Poppy, and I've got the largest ones, which I think they're Peony. So I'm going to pop 2 big ones and then a little one, and then 2 big ones and then a little one. For individuals, I like to use the Ardell Lash Grip. I like to use like more of a liquidy glue for this rather than the stick glue. I find this is just a little bit easier. And then how I do it is I just grab a lash from the container into my tweezer, then dip the little ball into the glue, and then I literally just place it right next to that false lash. So you can see the glue is still drying on the individuals, but it just gives that kind of tapered fan effect. This is like my most favourite kind of natural enhanced lash. I really like it. It's so kind of pretty. I always get people like, is that your natural lashes? And I'm like, sure. Now last step is lips. So first of all, I'm going to line my lips with my Kylie Cosmetics lip liner in Candy K. And then for lipstick, I'm going to use my Kat Von D Studded Lipstick in the shade Lovecraft, which is like beautiful kind of mauvey pink. I love these lipsticks, but every time I forget that when you've got dry lips, they have no mercy. And then last step is just a spritz of my MAC Fix Plus. I find when I've baked my face, I really like using this because it really softens all those powders into the skin and just makes you look less powdery and just a little bit more glowy. So this is the finished look. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you on the next video. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye!